I've been living in my car with my 2 cats for several months, and I'm trying to figure out how to get out of that situation, but I don't really know what I can do.
I've lived in my car for about 9 months now, and here are 3 things that I think are non-negotiables if you're planning on moving into your car.
So many people are doing van life, or they're living in their cars or living in the back of their trucks because who can afford 4K rent for one person? It's just not obtainable.
All right, I've been seeing more and more of these stories lately, and I'm not going to lie, it's kind of hard to ignore at this point. We're talking about people that look like they're doing everything right, but somehow they're still ending up living in cars. And I want to break this down because something about this just doesn't sit right.
So many people are doing van life, or they're living in their cars or living in the back of their trucks because who can afford 4K rent for one person? It's just not obtainable in this economy. It is absolutely ridiculous. You would think that they would be able to do something about it, but the thing is, these greedy landlords do not care. After COVID, that was their chance to raise rent, and they had no reason for raising it. They would do their little renovations and they would add an extra $400, $500 to the rent of a 1-bedroom apartment. When I left my apartment in South Carolina, I was paying $900. When I got in, it was $850, and then it changed to $9. That same apartment, as soon as I moved out and they did their renovations, I looked online and it was $1350. Now, in some cities, $1350 is not a lot, but for South Carolina, that was a lot of money for a 1-bedroom. Tell me, guys, what you think about this.
I've been living in my car with my 2 cats for several months, and I'm trying to figure out how to get out of that situation, but I don't really know what I can do. If the average price of an apartment is around $1,600 and you need to make 3 times the rent in order to be approved for an apartment, you have to make $4,800 a month, or at least $30 an hour. That's not happening right now. So I don't really know how I can get an apartment unless I can find a really well-paying job. I've been working a seasonal job that definitely doesn't pay $30 an hour, with the hopes that I could save up enough money and then move to a city I'd like to live in and find a landlord that might take pity on my soul and sign me to a lease even if I don't make the exact amount of income. But I just don't even know if that will actually be possible. I have a friend that can get me a serving job in California, but that's not guaranteed income, and everything I've tried to research says that servers have to have several months worth of income or bank deposits stacked up before they can consider being approved for an apartment. So I don't really know what to do, because California is also a lot harder to overnight park. So I don't even know if I can go down there and live in my car and work to build up income in order to be approved for an apartment. I don't really have a co-signer. I don't really know what I can do. So if anybody has advice, please let me know, because I'd like to give my little kitty cats homes.
How much do I pay for rent? $0, guys. I pay $0 for rent. And I'll give you guys a house tour. Here we go. And here it is. Look at this spacious home. No rent, practically free. Here we got my can of beans. That's for dinner tonight. Skincare right now, I have it in like nighttime mode. So once it's bedtime, I just hop in my bed. Down there is my gallon pee bottle. And then up here is where I have all my daily stuff like lotion, Scrub Daddy, my coffee cup, my coffee, oranges, my power inverter, which is how I charge things while I'm driving. Here we go. We have 2 blankets, and I also have a sleeping bag as well, but it's not sleeping bag weather. This is a memory foam trifold mattress, memory foam cooling pillow, and the mattress goes all the way to the trunk practically. So it's enough for my body. This is my window cover for the front window. And then back here, I have my backpacking backpack, which is a 65-liter backpack. Here are my window covers that I put on at night, so I have privacy and it keeps the temperature regulated. I made these myself. Back here is my extra water storage. It's 3 gallons. And that's pretty much it. We have my day pack. But this is how I happily live without having to stress about rent in America. So now all the money I make, I could use it for experiences, food, and just living life instead of letting it go away every month in rent.
So I'm 36. I'm divorced, and last year I downsized from almost 4,000 square feet mini mansion to 84 square feet. I live in a van. I'm rich too. My net worth is over $5 million, and I'm not saying that to brag. And frankly, I couldn't care less if you think it's tacky to talk about money on the internet to strangers. I'm sharing this so you'll be curious and want to know why I decided to downsize so drastically when I didn't need to. First, I didn't get rich because I got divorced. I got rich because I built and sold a successful online business. I worked my ass off and I got so burnt out, I didn't recognize myself anymore. I even got committed against my will to 4 different mental hospitals in 2 years because the doctors don't know what burnout is. They just tell you it's a mental illness and give you a little pill, but it's all bullshit. Mental illness is a sign that something is out of alignment. Your brain and your body aren't balanced because you aren't living the way you're meant to live, which is happy, free, safe, and doing what you love. I'm so sick of our government lying to us and allowing big corporations like the drug companies to lie and steal from us, not just our money, but our lives. They're stealing our health and our vibrancy. The food's fucking poison. The water's fucking poison. The air is poisoned too, but it's not just poisoned, it's purposely poisoned. They take our money and we fork it over to them because we're afraid that if we don't, they will ruin our lives. But they're already ruining our lives. It's like the frog in a pot of water on the stove, and they do it so slowly with their pills and their food and all their other poisons posing as household necessities. We gotta wake up to what's happening because we're not prisoners to fear and lies. We're not meant to be that. We're meant to be free. We're meant to live in harmony with each other. We're meant to thrive and have fun every single day. That's who we are. We're not angry mobs protesting or killing each other. We're not cattle. We're not economic slaves. So that's why I downsized, because I realized that my house was holding me hostage. It was keeping me prisoner to the belief that I needed to stay in one place forever in a gigantic house that's nicer than most luxury hotels and work really, really, really hard so I could pay for it and pay a huge amount of taxes as well. Does that sound like freedom to you?
A few weeks ago, I got the impression that someone was living in their car on my street. I had mentioned it to one of my roommates saying that I thought that, and he said, no, I don't think that's what's happening. I think he's fixing up that car. I see him sometimes out there with guys, and it seems like they're fixing up the car. So I don't think he's living there. And I thought, oh, okay. So I disregarded it. On Friday night, I was getting home really late, and I passed by his car, and I saw that he was in there. So I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna check on him. I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'd rather check on him and be wrong than not at all. So I parked my car, walked over, and introduced myself. And I didn't want to bring up the situation because it was so obvious that it doesn't need to be brought up. I said, hi, I'm Mariah. I live in the area. How are you? What's your name? And he said, I just got some groceries. I have this extra box of crackers if you want this. And he was like, yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And then I said, I'm going to make myself a meal really quick. Would you want some? I can bring it out to you. And he was like, yeah, that's amazing. I'm about to work a graveyard shift, so I have to leave soon. And I said, okay, well, I'll be really quick. And so I went, made the meal super quick and brought it out to him. I brought him like snacks, like apples, macro bars, other things that I had around. You can see in the previous video that he said he leaves his dog in the car. He has a pretty big sized dog. I think it's a Doberman. She's so beautiful. He says he can't bring her to work, so he leaves her in the car the whole night while he works this graveyard shift. So I offered to watch her for the night. I brought her water, I brought her a little bit of food that I had that was dog safe, and let her sleep with me in my bed. Sweet girl cried the whole night until 6 a.m. I had my birthday party the next day, and I was like, I'm not getting any sleep. I tried to massage her, I tried to console her, but she just cried the whole night. And I felt so bad because it's not like I could give her back to him because he's working a graveyard shift, and it's not like she has a home to go to. I just dealt with it. I was so tired in the morning when I brought her out to him, just absolutely delirious, that I didn't think to offer anything else in that moment. But once I had left, I thought, oh, I should have offered gift cards. Okay, later after my birthday party, I'm gonna go get him gift cards for grocery stores, for pet stores. I'm gonna get some pet toys and some dog food, like make sure that he's really set up. I reached out to shelters, seeing who would be able to take him and his dog. Like, I was trying to set him up for success.
I've lived in my car for about 9 months now, and here are 3 things that I think are non-negotiables if you're planning on moving into your car. First one is tinted windows. I don't think it's a good idea to move into your car unless you have tinted windows. And I do understand that tinted windows can be very expensive, but I beg you to please find a way to pay for them because it's just not safe without them. Number 2 is a gym membership. This is where you will shower. This is where you will brush your teeth sometimes, where you will work out for the day. This will make all the difference in your happiness. Please get a gym membership. Preferably a gym that's open 24 hours, 7 days a week. When I'm traveling, I go for a Planet Fitness membership. Not all of them are open 24/7, but some of them are, and a Planet Fitness membership is only $25 a month. And when I'm not traveling, I just use a local gym. If there is not any gyms open 24/7, any gym will work, although 24/7 is preferred. And number 3 is window covers. Please get window covers. This is also another safety thing. You don't want anyone to be able to see in your car. You don't want anyone to know that you live in your car.
The honest truth is that ever since I started car living, I've kind of never had a reason to stop. I always thought this was something I would do for a month and just get sick of it, just get tired, get bored, whatever. Honestly, I've had a great time. I've been everywhere. I've had so much fun. I've been able to make and save so much money along the way. I really just don't have a reason to stop. And I just look at the world and the country just around me. And yeah, I don't feel like paying a gut-wrenching amount for rent and being at the mercy of a landlord or, you know, a boss that could fire me and I could lose everything at any moment. I don't know. It works for me. I understand it might not be the case for everybody, but I really love this lifestyle.
A stranger just came over to me to check that I was okay in the car park, and now I can't stop crying. Because it's like, you just forget that you're actually human, you know? And someone treats you like you're human. But he just kept saying, I know I'm just a stranger, but you'll pull through, like, you're gonna be okay.
These are the kind of conversations that people usually avoid, but they matter. So if you experience something like this or even seen it, your voice might actually help someone else understand what's going on.